at one of these meetings yesterday, and I remember that a lady told you that she had had 8 children, and 4 of them had died in childbirth, or shortly thereafter. But if all of them had survived, she'd have 8 children. And what the developing world does not need is more children.
And I think that was the biggest aha to Bill and me when we got into this work, is we asked ourselves, of course, the same hard-nosed question you'd ask, which is, if you get into this work and you start to save these children, will women just keep overpopulating the world? And thank goodness the converse is absolutely true. And so they don't do that, because women say to themselves they want 2 children to survive into adulthood. If she knows that 2 will survive into adulthood, she will naturally bring down her population. And so as soon as she starts to see that getting them back or keeping them alive during the birth, she won't have as many children. That's what we just heard from this group.
And so as soon as she starts to see that getting them back in the sky or keeping them alive during the birth, she won't have as many children. That's what we just heard from this group.
Well, that the older women had more children, hoping more would survive, but the younger women are starting to plan for smaller families because they know they'll live.
They all said they wanted 3.
Yeah. Which is fantastic.
Not
That's what you want. Yeah.
And so if you understand that there's a high likelihood that your child is going to survive, you believe they'll have fewer.
Absolutely, and we're seeing that play out in all the population numbers across the globe. In fact, the population rates are coming down faster than had been predicted 10 years ago.
And from there, you want to do tiering in various countries to make sure your most vulnerable populations get it. In our country, that would be Blacks and Native Americans. People with underlying health conditions, and the elderly.
Only something that white people aren't ready to hear.
Fuck.
That we are the devils that the Bible speaks about. We have committed genocides in North America, South America, Australia, the Middle East and Africa. What comes from us is fake statistics, fake world maps, fake research. And now, on top of everything, white people are completely ignorant about everything I just said.
So there is no more excuse for you so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American Israelites. First and foremost, I want to begin by giving all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Rakakadash, and double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone to taught me his truth, and much respect to the Akim out there laboring in his work, and also to the believers scattered across the 4 corners of the earth, the whole elect, in the USA. Shalom. So yeah, there you have it. All right, 1 + 2 = 3. And we have come to the conclusion that the so-called white man is indeed the damn devil that the Bible speaks of. But as you can see, they understand very well who they are too. Okay, these devils understand who they are. The only ones that are deceived are the ones that they're targeting, which are you so-called Negro, Latino, and Native Americans, for extermination. All right, and that has always been the goal of these devils, these deceivers. And so through the sickness that you Israelites have, which is called Stockholm Syndrome, you have developed sympathy for the ones that are kicking your ass, man. The ones that have oppressed you for centuries on out and have never showed you any mercy. All right? So this is why the Lord is going to destroy 2/3 who want to be joined with this man, as the Lord is going to bring judgment on the so-called white man with the destruction of America. Okay, so here's a quote from Jacques Rene Chirac, the former president of France. He says, "We bled Africa for 4.5 centuries. We looted their raw materials. Then we told lies that the Africans are good for nothing, because they understand who you so-called Negroes are. The head tribe, Judah, okay, this includes Benjamin and Levi. He says, in the name of religion, we destroyed their culture. And what culture is that? That you are the Israelites. And they gave you what? Christianity. It says, and after being made rich at their expense, with them forcing you to work hard labor, okay, pretty much free labor at that. And it goes and say, we now steal their brains through miseducation and propaganda to prevent them from enacting black retribution against us. And that's the awakening of the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native Americans to their true heritage, which are the Israelites. All right, that has been their goal this whole time. Matter of fact, that's pursuant to Psalm 64 and 2. I mean, Psalms, yeah, and also Psalms 83rd chapter. But this is what these devils do all day long. They plot on how to destroy you, Jake. So Psalm 62 and 4, they only consult to cast him down from his excellency. That's talking about Israel, all right? The 12 tribes. So they delight in lies, right? Miseducation, propaganda, stealing your culture. It says they bless with their mouth, but they curse inwardly, Salah. All right. So through the act of deceit, this man had deceived you so-called Negro, Latino, and Native Americans. All right. And also the whole world at that. So Proverbs 26 and 25, it says, when he speak of fair, believe him not. Speaking about the so-called white man, the self-proclaimed devil. For there are 7 abominations in his heart whose hatred is covered by deceit. His wickedness shall be showed before the whole congregation. All right, and that's being done by the prophets who are waking up, who have awakened in the last days due to the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Shah to speak the truth, concerning the matter of the so-called white man and who we truly are. So 2 Thessalonians 2 and verse 8, it says, and then shall that wicked, all right, that nation of Edom, the so-called white people, be revealed during this time, right? Whom the Lord Yahweh Bashim Shah shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, with the prophets, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. So that's what's coming next, the destruction of the so-called white man, all right, with America being destroyed in the midst of World War III. It says, even him, Esau, whose coming is after the working of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders. Okay, and this is what he has done ever since the Renaissance, deceiving all nations. That's in the book of Revelation, the 20th chapter. It says, and with all deceivableness and unrighteousness in them that perish, because they received not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. And that's speaking about you so-called Negro, Latino, and Native Americans who continue to trust in your oppressor. All right, the lies and the deception of the so-called white man. So with you not accepting this truth, well, he's going to give you over to be destroyed along with this man right here in Babylon the Great. All right, because this man was used to blind 2/3 of our people. 2 Corinthians 4 and 3. But if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost, yet the 2/3, whom the God of this world, speaking about Esau, have blinded the minds of them which believe not. Yeah, due to miseducation, due to your heritage being stripped away, okay, lying about the the truth of the Most High, his true name Yahweh, and his beloved son Yahweh Shah, whom they exed out in America. It says, let the light of the glorious gospel of Hamashiach, who is the image of the Most High Yahweh, should shine unto them. So unless this gospel shines upon you and you believe it, then you're going to be destroyed, man. All right. Due to the deception of the so-called white man, who has come out and told you that he is the damn devil, man, numerous times. And he don't even got to tell you that. Just due to his actions, shows you that this man is a devil. Psalm 64. All right, in verse 6, it's like in verse 8. So shall they make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. So this man's own counsel is going to fall upon themselves. And everyone is going to know that the so-called white man is a devil. All right, before it's all said and done. And he's being revealed right now. Okay, and also in the book of Joel, the 15th chapter, it says, in verse 5, for thy mouth uttereth thine iniquity, and thou choosest the tongue of the crafty, the so-called white man, all right? Deception. Thine own mouth condemneth thee, and not I. And yeah, thy own lips testify against thee. You see? So this is speaking about the so-called white man who has openly came out and told you who he was. So, whoever does not want to accept the truth is going to be destroyed. This man has to be put down. He is the cancer of the earth. All right. So matter of fact, let's go to Isaiah 24 and verse 5. We're reading the NLT to the right. The earth suffers for the sins of its people, for they have twisted the Most High's instructions, right? Because Esau is completely contrary and in opposition unto the laws and statutes of the Bible. It tells you in the book of Baruch, the 4th chapter, Matter of fact, let's go ahead and get it real quick. Because the laws of the Bible are life, but Esau is in opposition. And this is how we understand that he is the damn devil, the deceiver that the Bible speaks of. So Baruch 4 and verse 1, this is the book of the commandments of the Most High and the law that endure forever. All that keep it, they shall come to life, but such as leave it shall die. And this is what the so-called white man has done. All right. Matter of fact, Isaiah 26:10, let favor be showed to the wicked, yet he will not learn righteousness. So this man was given the earth to rule. And what did he do? He decided to cast off the words of the Most High and rule it according to his own liking, which is wicked. It says, yet he would not learn righteousness. In the land of uprightness he would deal unjustly, and would not behold the majesty of the Lord Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. So going back to Isaiah 25 and verse 5 in the NLT, also like Isaiah 24 and verse 5 in the NLT, the earth suffers for the sins of its people, for they have twisted the Most High's instructions and violated his laws and broken his everlasting commandment. Therefore, a curse consumes the earth, man. Its people must pay the price for their sins. They are destroyed by fire, and only a few are left alive, and that's going to be the elect. Because this place of wickedness, starting with America, ran by the so-called white man, and this beast system has to be overthrown. It has to be destroyed in order for righteousness to come. All right. So going to 2nd Esdras 6. Second Esdras 4, Salakia, in verse 28. But as concerning things where thou askest me, I would tell thee, for the evil is sown, but the destruction thereof is not yet come. The evil is sown right here in America, which has polluted the whole earth. If therefore that which is sown be not turned upside down, and if the place where the evil is sown pass not away, speaking about America, then cannot it come that it's sown with good. So this place has to be plucked up and rooted out, all right, by fire, because it's likened to a cancer. And then the Lord's going to plant righteousness within the earth, starting with our Lord Yahushua and 144,000 next governors that are going to rule this earth in righteousness. You see? It's like Ecclesiasticus. So Ecclesiasticus 10 and verse 10, it says, the physician cutteth off a long disease, and he that is today a king tomorrow shall die. This disease being the so-called white man, who has openly come out and admitted that, hey, everything that we have done has been by deception and, by murder, pretty much, all right? Raping, robbing, and murdering. And a physician is talking about our Lord Yahushua, all right, who's going to fix everything and heal everything. But first, it has to be done by the counsel being rooted out, all right? So St. John 10 and verse 10, the thief cometh not but to steal and to kill and to destroy. I am come that they might have life. You so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American Israelites, all right? Dealing with the elect, it's time to do repent, and that they might have it more abundantly. All right, so the kingdom of heaven, we're going to have everything that we were promised to get according to the blessing of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. All right. So Yahushua has to come back and make war with the so-called white man in order for that to come, which a lot of Israelites can't seem to accept. Okay, and this man Esau will be exterminated. He will be eliminated out of the earth. Job 20 and verse 5, all right? Matter of fact, verse 4, knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed upon earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, the wicked being the so-called white man, Esau, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment, and though his excellency mount up to the clouds, or to the heavens, and his head reach unto the clouds, yet he shall perish forever like his own dung. They which have seen him shall say, where is he? So after 1,000-year period of time, which Yahushua will put down all rule and all authority, and these Edomites will be brought down low to their place after a 1,000-year period that will be exterminated. Then everyone will be like, where is this curse? All right? But he will not be found. Verse 8, he shall fly away as a dream and shall be not found. Yet he shall be chased away as a vision of the night. The eye also which saw him shall see him no more, and neither shall his place any more behold him. You see? So Esau in the future would be exterminated. He would be extinct. All right? Because every time he comes into power, he corrupts the earth. It happened during the time of the Greeks. All right? During the time of the Romans, and also now. So the only option is to take this man out and to destroy him forever. Okay? So that righteousness may flourish on earth. So let's get this real quick and we'll close it out. Proverbs 29 and verse 2. When the righteous are in authority, the Israelites, strong with our Lord Yahushua, the people rejoice. But when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. All right, and that's what's happening right now. So wickedness has to be rooted out in order for righteousness to reign and peace to flourish. So with that, Lord willing, you'll edify until next time I say, Shalom.